Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we thank you guys very, very, very much for being a part of this little virtual table that we have here where we are spreading the news and the love of the kingdom to come. And thank you very, very much. For those who do not know, we are the family who believe that the first 5 books in scriptures, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are the instructions for life. They are the good instructions that the creator of the universe has given to us and allowed us to know and allowed us to have and has asked us to keep. And it is in those first 5 books that we learn who our creator is, how he wants us to worship, what he's all about, and how we should act and how we should behave towards him, towards our people, towards those who we do retail service with. Every bit of the guideposts of life are given to us in those first 5 books. Cade, will you please open us in prayer?
Precious Father, we come before you once again as your people, seeking your Torah, seeking your ways, seeking righteousness, seeking the kingdom to come, and we ask that today your Ruach is on our eyes, on our hearts, minds, and souls to understand what you have written out for us, understand the commands, understand your Torah, understand the words of your Son, and we thank you for the Shabbat, we thank you for the day of rest that you knew so far ahead that we would need a day like this, we would need a day to recharge, reset, a day to spend with you, a day to bask in your glory, and we thank you for this day in your name, amen.
All right, and thank you to everybody who threw in prayers for Miss Nicole, threw in prayers for the Boss Clan family. The healing hand of our Creator has been delivered. Miss Nicole is good. She has every once in a while a little cough here and there, one of those lingering things, but for the most part, everybody has survived this, and it is only by the testament of the Creator that has built such an incredible design that we are able to get through it and able to praise Him all the way through. You please open us up with our Shema.
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one, and you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your shoulder. I shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Amazing words. Ms. Nicole, who do we have in our, say hi to our current viewers and to those who come later. Much love to you all. Thank you all, everybody, for spending time, your precious time, as we sit here.
All right, we have Sarah Baker, Yehoshua HaMashiach is my Savior, Charles, Razul, Candy and Ruby, Curtis T, Genie Not of This World, Stella G, America Silver Patriot, Andy and Elizabeth, Rebecca, and Joanna walk in his ways. And I think that's everybody.
All right. Well, that is a great group. That is a beautiful group. Thank you guys very, very much for being a part of this as we go through these. What we're about to do, guys, and for anybody who's never been part of this reading that we do, is we're going through the laws, statutes, and commandments, the good instructions that our Creator has given to us. And what we learn from them is we learn a lot. Number one is we write them on our heart, mind, and soul so that we are unable to violate these same things that we're about to read. And as we are the people that are trying to find this kingdom to come, there is a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion in this world. We live in this world that has what I call the R word, which is religion. It is a bad word because there is no single religion anywhere that is out there that holds any kind of weight when it comes to scriptures. All of these so-called man-made religions, all of this stuff it's a hoax. It is a hoax by the devil. It has hoaxed the greatest of the people out there. Everybody has found their way to salvation. But when you read these scriptures, it is not what is in these, it's not what is there. And so we don't look at Torah keeping as a religion. We look at Torah keeping as a way of life. This is something that we have been given these instruction books for. And so we're not looking to find a religion. And, you know, I was talking to my family this week. I don't necessarily need to have faith anymore, especially living out in these jungles. And I know a lot of this becomes with faith, that you have to believe and to believe. But once you start understanding the ways of our Creator, His instruction book and the way forward, and then you go out and, you know, we have an opportunity down here in these jungles. And guys, my roof is really popping real loud. I'm so sorry about that. That is just my tin roof. But when you live in these jungles, you see a cycle of something that can't just be an anomaly. And we're going into fly season down here. We're getting into our hot season. I think it was 90 degrees this week. It's going to nail up to 100 degrees, 95% humidity really soon. But we have a different seasons of flies. Flies will come en masse. Like you will have 50, 60, 70 flies in your house. There's nothing you can do. The flies will come, and then there's about a week or 2 weeks where you're just like, wow, this is the flies of Mitzrayim. We're obviously here. And then they will all die off. But this week, the flies are beginning. And I got to spend a little bit of time sitting out with my dogs, watching out there in the jungles. And as I was sitting there batting the flies off, I noticed all of these dragonflies, and they came from all different directions, and my entire yard for an entire morning, these things were having a Golden Corral buffet. These guys were rocking the fly house dealing with this, and they were happy as clams. They were out there popping down some meals. Everything was perfect in its cycle. And when you're able to see nature in this kind of degree and understand how things work, the flies come, the other insects come to eat these things. If we didn't have these other things, if we didn't have a perfect cycle like we have that our Creator's given to us, then we'd be inundated. Like these little fly season would be fly life. You would just be having to live with these disgusting things all over the place instead of just being a season. And so it is with that I don't know so much as we have to have faith. We do need to understand. And when you read scriptures, all of a sudden it becomes very, very clear. And when you are in the R-word religion, you got to have faith, right? You got to, like, you're waiting on a magical school bus rapture. You can you believe the divinity of your Creator is one big egg, and it's three different people in one. There's all of these things that you absolutely have to have faith for. But when you read scriptures, it's very, very clear. It dials it up, it puts it out, and it is something that we want to scream from the mountaintops. We want to tell everybody how great it is. When you start walking the Torah life, when you start walking the Torah path and the kingdom road, it's one of these things that you've been given something so free that frees you on the inside that you would want to tell everybody. And this is why Boss Clan is always out here. We're always pushing, we're always prodding, we're always trying to get those who will listen, anybody that will possibly look to the kingdom and try to guard their souls. That's what we're doing. And you're not going to ever be able to guard your soul if you don't know what the Torah is. If you are going to eternity and you only think you have the Holy Spirit to guide you and you don't even know the laws of our Creator, then that little voice in your head probably isn't the Holy Spirit. It's probably the devil, and the devil's probably telling you that all food has been made clean, that the laws of our Creator have been nailed to a cross, and once saved is always saved. And that is the motto of the devil. He will have you completely in a rut, in a pit, watching filthy shows, watching evil things, letting your family watch and see evil things. And your entire family, as well as you, are on the way to hell, according to what our Messiah says in Matthew 7. So guys, let us begin into these laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And anything happening there in chat?
You might want to read Stella's.
Where is Stella's?
Stella G, she's close to the bottom.
Close to the bottom.
She says, I heard that subdue the fowl of the air and the fish underneath is a metaphor for having power over the demonic unseen forces and the marine spirits under the air and in the waters.
Read that one more time.
I heard that subdue the fowl of the air and the fish underneath is a metaphor for having power over the demonic unseen forces and their marine spirits under the air in the waters.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know so much as that, but I mean, the commandment to subdue and have dominion over the fish, fowl, and living creature, that's a very important one that we have. It gives us dominion over them. And one thing that you will actually learn from the extracurricular books is that when Adam was kicked out of the garden, he was deathly afraid of the animals. All these animals that used to talk to him and come hang out with him and that were part of his stuff. He's like, Father, these things are going to rise up and they're going to kill me. And so one of the blessings that our Creator did is that he put the fear of man in all of these insects. And again, down out here in the jungle, if we didn't have the fear of man on these insects, we would be getting eaten alive more than we already get eaten alive. I don't usually make it through a day without having a couple of different bites somewhere that leave giant welts. And so if these things didn't have the fear of man, it would be a problem. Okay.
Daughter of Abraham, we also need to pray for her because she was evicted, but she has a question. She says, does God, Yahuwah, still afflict us like Job?
So when we take a look at that question, number one, did the affliction come from our Creator? And if a lot of people can look at this in a lot of different ways, the hand of the affliction didn't actually come from the Creator. It came from the testing that Hasatan wanted to do to inflict the damage upon Job. And so all of the tests that Job had to go through are all of the absolute same tests that all of us will absolutely have to go through in this day and age. The lands that we are on are testing lands. We have 120 years that we have been given to figure out the laws, statutes, and commandments, and also to be tried. This is what eternity is all about. Eternity is going to make all of these times that we are stuck here in places that are very, very bad. Some of us are in very bad places. Just got evicted. That's a very bad place. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. We will definitely be praying for you. But testing comes in all fashions, and it comes in all forms. And in the book of Revelations, it's very clear that Hasatan has a motive and has a ways and a means to come and get all the Torah keepers. So bottom line is, by us being Torah keepers and being children of the Most High, we absolutely have a target on our back. That being said, without a shadow of a doubt, there are extracurricular messengers in all directions that have fought off, are fighting off, and will fight off the powers that be. Things that you don't even know have probably been defeated, and things that would have completely wrecked your life were not able to be happening because we do have that extracurricular protection. But as Torah keepers, we should always be ready for testing, and we should always be ready to smile, to praise our Creator in adversity, praise our Creator in goodness, in great times and bad times. We need to understand that it's just a part of life. And it just because you are going through testing doesn't mean that you're under a curse. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. And when you read the book of the Nazarene, which is the last book in Yah Scriptures, Messiah talks a lot about it because, one of these people were talking about, hey, this little village, they were talking about a village that got destroyed. And they were saying, hey, were the people in this town, were they all evil, or why did this happen to them? And Messiah clearly says it happened to them because they were there. They were at the time, and their leaders, the people that were there, were the ones that left them and got them in this kind of oppression. So if we are sitting here trying to find a blame in our Creator, that wouldn't be having. What we would want to do is always keep our prayers to our Creator, that we have the strength, the spiritual strength to fight the demonic attacks, to fight the evil, to fight all of this stuff that comes against us, which it does. It outpours day after day after day. If you are a Torah keeper, you're going to have crazy experiences that we're going to need our Creator to get us out of. So I hope that covers that. Okay, let us get into this, guys. This is, and I want to stop on a couple of these because I have some interesting things for this. So commandment number 1 that we've been told in Scriptures, and what we're reading here, guys, is we're reading the commandments in order in which they are listed in the Scriptures. So as we went through these years ago to get these commandments, these are, as we read Torah over and over and over, we jotted these down, and these are what we can find that we can all do today in this. And like Rick says right here, yeah, have joy in your trials, for the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may mature and complete. And guys, I have a different perspective on a lot of this because I get to deal with a lot of guys who are forever locked up in the United States prison system. And if you're looking for some really bad times or some really bad days or some really bad times of your life, it would be in that. And I'm always telling these guys, I talk to guys all the time that literally have a death sentence, and at any moment, at any time, they could be put on this list and have this. But what I tell them is this: eternity is forever. It's a very, very, very long time, and we can't grasp what eternity is, right? We have a hard time with a week and a month and a year, decades, right? That just seems like a tremendous amount of time for us. But we're living in the last days. We're living in a time where it is coming. Messiah is on his way very, very soon. I don't know exactly when, but as the world gets darker and darker and darker, these are the signs that we have that our Messiah is on his way. And when we breach eternity, when we make the day of accounting and we are sent to the side of goodness, we're going to look back on all these troubles and tribulations. And like I tell my brothers in jail, in prison, that it's going to make these times feel like nothing. It's going to be a vapor. It's going to be a breath of air. You're just going to have these memories of this, but 5,000 years later, you're going to remember what it was that you spent 120 years in this. And so all of us are going to have trials and tribulations. And like Rick says, embrace these things with joy. Be thankful that we are, that, if Hasatan wasn't messing with us, then we're probably not on the right path, is the bottom line. Because he doesn't care about the Christians. He doesn't care about the Catholics. He already has every single one of them. It doesn't matter. Okay, now let's roll on, everyone. Number 1, commandment 1, be fruitful. Very good command.
Commandment 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
That are bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every community that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahweh's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
I talk about this one a lot, but I do want to mention the length of this. As you guys can see on the screen, this takes up the entire screen. It takes up the second entire screen, and it takes up almost 2.5 screens on this, guys. What this says right here is that we are to guard the covenant laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, when you toss the laws and nail them to the tree, that's the opposite of this, right? That is not guarding the covenant laws, statutes, and commandments. There would be no place in our world that we would ever say that the most precious, beautiful words that come out of our Creator's mouth have like somehow just become null and void when it's for all generations. And so, guys, this is very important that if there's no other thing, it's that we absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, need to guard these laws, statutes, and commandments. When people tell us they're on the tree or they're on, be as gentle and delicate as you can and try to teach the way of HaKodesh, but people won't get it. People will never get it. All right, continue on.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover of Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened. Keep the feast of unleavened bread. Festival of matzah.
Spit it out there, boy.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the
All right,
Hebrew.
and I got to stop on that one. I want to go back to Daniel's thing. Daniel had a great comment right there. As Yah has said, I chastise those whom I love. If you're not chastised, he doesn't love you, right? And that is straight up truth right there. That is straight truth. Because, the Christians, there's no loyalty to our Creator. In any one of these religions, it doesn't matter. I don't want to pick on the Christians, but I mean, there's so many different denominations that go under the Christian flag. Not a single one of them has value to what our Creator says. And so when we are going through trials and tribulations, it's about being in prayer. It's about seeking our Creator, about maybe dialing in. Maybe we are off the path. Maybe we have done something wrong. It's a time of pondering. It's a time of contemplation. It's a time of understanding that when we have these trials and tribulations, we're not alone. Our Messiah probably sees, definitely Yahuwah sees. A lot of people see what's happening to us in this earthly, fleshly world. And it's important that we keep our hands up, our chin down, and that we're those people who are literally rejoicing in these trials, getting beat to a pulp, and you know what? Looking up, smiling with the 2 teeth we have left, and going, hey, we love Yah. Let's do this again. But the point of this one that I want to talk about right here is there's one Torah law for the stranger and one for the Hebrew. And just this morning, when it comes to religion, it's all sorts of foul. And some dude was commenting on Yahuwah in the Torah, and he had this great thing about how great we were with the scriptures and all this stuff. But he goes off and he goes, why do you depict everybody from Israel as being Caucasian? And I'm like, okay, so here we are, and I've heard this over and over and over. You have these guys, they call themselves the Black Hebrews. Side of it, the Black Hebrew guys have somehow decided that somehow in scriptures that there is only one skin color that is going to be that's the only one. Now, from somebody who's literally typed the entire Bible up and read it over and over and over, I will tell you there's nothing about skin color anywhere come to Revelations, and it gives us a brief description of our Messiah. So when you are, I don't have a better word than racism isn't even a great word, but when you have racism against the kingdom of our Creator, that is not what is going to build the kingdom. We have many, many, many examples of outsiders, of people with all different skin colors, of all different kinds. And we have this commandment right here that says there's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew. It doesn't matter if you're red, blue, purple, black, green, whatever color that you are. If you want to be a child of the Most High, just like back in the days of when they came out of Egypt as a mixed multitude. For those who do not know what that means, we're talking every rainbow color of people that our Creator has created in a beautiful spectrum that He has. If you want to join Him, it doesn't matter your skin color. The entire skin color and all of these people that are well, if you're black, you're going to make it. Oh, the white people are the only ones chosen. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's no place in scriptures anywhere for that stuff. In fact, I think it's a kingdom killer. Not only that, you know, people have said this for so long, but I'm turning up the heat on these kind of people because it's ridiculous. What would ever make somebody's shiny black, shiny white, shiny green, shiny purple skin color qualify you for the kingdom to come when it is all about obedience to the ways of our Creator? It makes no sense. But yet nobody wants to back this up with scriptures. One guy said something about, oh, it's the natural olive leaf and something else. You can't make this stuff up. You can't just fit this stuff to fit it. This entire racism and hating somebody who's a different color is ridiculous in the man-made world, and it's really ridiculous when we come to the kingdom. It's going to be a rainbow flavor of all these different colors of people who love our Creator, who love their neighbor, and we're going to be happy singing along, and nobody's going to think a thing about it. Let's continue on. Here we are. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
You keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill. Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make accusations.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool is touch.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
Slow down, fellers.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, you must return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat the corn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make Jesus nor a normal person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
The women's time of separation.
obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
All right, hold on, real quick. Walk in His ways. Put a great verse here. Revelation 7:9. After this, I looked and behold a great multitude that no one could number, from every nation, from all tribes, peoples, and languages, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes with palm branches in their hands. That's the same thing that we see in scriptures, right? Not a single time did the Ammonites ever decide that, hey, we're going to wipe out the some other colored people, right? You never hear about it. It doesn't exist. Racism is definitely a man-made evil that has really plagued society for, I guess, forever. But there's no place for it in the kingdom. And if you're going into the kingdom thinking, you know, your shiny white or shiny black skin is going to like take you to the next level because you're just made special, it's not that. That's a lie you've inherited, and you should not be thinking anything like that. All right, let's continue on.
Where we at?
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister.
Rick
for
said
wife.
Satan made it. Yeah, Satan absolutely made that without a shadow of doubt.
Do not lie with a woman of her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
The word's Kodesh. Holy is actually like a pagan side of that. So be Kodesh. Anyway, sorry.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not injure your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and a wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult a medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
All right, let's stop real quick. Guys, we are up on one of these festival times of the week that is going there. If you guys haven't heard somebody say Merry Christmas to you, I guess you consider yourself lucky. We don't know exactly what to say to that. We just say have a nice day. But walking in the manners of the nations is doing this. And my dear old mother, My dear old mother, she wished me Merry Christmas, and I said, Mom, you know how I feel about this whole thing. And she's like, well, I don't think Jesus was born on December anyway. I'm like, he wasn't. He was born September 11th. She's like, that's okay. I'm just going to celebrate this anyway. And I'm like, well, that's just, it is what it is. And Mom has definitely made her decision. She is, she's a prime candidate for these talks here on Shabbat because, I don't have anyone closer to me than my mom, who's a raging Gentile, a raging heathen that loves it and professes, her beautiful Gentile life that she has. But we don't need to be these people. If you're celebrating this so-called Saturnalia Day, guys, understand that this is not a birth of our Messiah. In fact, we don't have a command to celebrate the birth of our Messiah. If you want to keep it it's like September 11th and make Messiah a cake or something, I suppose you probably could. But if you are doing what is happening on December 25th and you're actually part of a satanic ritual, and whether or not it's the Santa and his name is spelled almost like Satan, like 2 letters, split the letters around, now you have Satan, right? And now the joke's on us. And then you have families that are sitting there lying to their children for all their time, telling them, oh yeah, there's this guy that doesn't exist and blah, blah, blah. Various things. What are you looking at?
So Elizabeth just sent me a side message.
Yeah.
Elizabeth and Andy, and she wants to know, where does it say in scriptures that Yahuwah was born on September 11th?
Yahushua.
Sorry.
It doesn't exactly say in scriptures where it is at. I mean, it doesn't say.
But the shepherds wouldn't be in
There's a lot of different. I don't remember how we came to this. We came to this like I don't know 8 or 9 years ago after reading a whole bunch of stuff, and but it's not one of these things just in scripture that says, hey, it's September 11th is this. But the whole thing about why September 11th became what September 11th did was because they want to take the any kind of glory away from the birth of our Messiah out and then make it a sad day of hoaxing
And he was
things of that
definitely
nature.
born closer to the fall festival, holy day.
Oh yeah, actually,
Feast
and
of Trumpet.
that's a feast, and that's it as well. That's what it is. Yeah, so that's where we are. Based upon the appointed times is where we ended up getting to where our Messiah was born as well. And so when Messiah was born does match the appointed times that have happened. So let's see what chat has here. 12 happened twice. It broke 7 years ago. Okay, I was reading Curtis's stuff. Yeah, she even sends the Christmas cards. Yeah, it's tough, man. It is really, really tough. No doubt, unclean spirits are definitely working in them, and it's sad because it's our family. It's the people that raised us, and they raised us improperly. They raised us as Christians, and I will definitely say, without a shadow of a doubt, a lot of my trials and tribulations in my life have always come because I didn't know Torah. Up until I was way old, I had no idea that there was a set of rules, instructions that were good for my life. I had been told they were always gone. And even when we try to bring those who we love back into the fold, they refuse. And so it's a problem. All right, I went off into the weeds on this, guys. I try not to. Don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate New Year's. It's not a New Year's on the Creator's calendar. Don't celebrate Easter. Thanksgiving's out. All of these pagan times and man-made things, get rid of them. We have appointed times that we do every single year. We have Passover, we have trumpet. We have all of these things, and they're festival things. And so it's not like we're missing out. And don't celebrate Hanukkah. Guys, that is a super Christmas. That is a man-made tradition. You have one mention of it in scriptures, and Messiah was looking at people celebrating it. It didn't say he celebrated. It didn't say he say anything. He said he was observing it. And so if you're just taking Christmas and you change it for Hanukkah and you have 8 super days of gift giving and all this crazy stuff, that's all man-made doctrine. It's not what we are told to do. Okay. All right. Let's roll on, fellas.
Where are we at?
Keep the feast, the first fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, Pentecost. Those are the ones we keep.
Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Torah. Keep the Feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. If you kill your animal, you must give him another. Repay injury for injury. Honor the Yobel, Jubilee year. Confessions to Yahuwah and repay who have trespassed against. The Torah of being an Nazir.
Wear zizit on the 4 corners of your garment.
The laws of whoever touched a corpse. Follow Yahuwah's Torah of inheritance. Law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah, the laws, upon your hands, the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the Torah on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes to the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable things.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe your increase of seed year by year.
The Torah at the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor show your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken to the Nabai Yahuwah has chosen.
The prophet text of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear pertains to a man, nor a man wear pertains to a woman.
You find a bird's nest with the mother. The babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not pay a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, so everybody, we made it out of Leviticus. I didn't even realize last week that we were on the last chapter of Leviticus when we ran through it. Somebody grab the dog's fizz. And so here we are. We are into a brand new book from the greatest instruction guide that has ever been developed. We are reading the Torah, and this is in the book of Numbers. Now, Jade, why don't you give me a recap of Genesis, Exodus, all the way to Numbers, where we are at?
All right, so we have made it from the days of Adam, and then we had his children that went astray. We had Noah and the flood. They got off Noah. Children, some of them went astray, some of them were good. Shem had a good genealogy. Cain's genealogy was the giants after they tried to get rid of them. And then we had Abraham, and Abraham was living in the days of the Gentiles, and basically all the people of Noah's generations went astray, and there's only a few good people left. And then Abraham had his sons, and they multiplied. And Isaac's sons, he had the tribes of Israel. He had Jacob and Esau, and then Jacob had 12 sons, and they had all 12 tribes. They went down to Egypt, got stuck in Egypt 400 years, and then Moses came along after 400 years, freed them, brought them out. They had to go through wars to get out of there and get through lands. They had to fight people. Then they made it to Mount Sinai, where they got laws, and they have gotten a lot of laws. Moses was getting some laws, heard some stuff going down in the camp, thought it was a war. It was them partying and worshiping idols. Went down and killed some people, went back up the mountain, got more laws, and he got blueprints how to build the temple and all of Yah's furniture and all the stuff that he wants for his temple. And then we went into Leviticus, and we got to learn about what the Levites need to do, how they should act, more laws for us, and basically what to do if we were Levites. Now we are in Numbers.
Okay, so here we are, and guys, this might be a little dry reading here. I'm gonna have my main homie here, Eli. He was, for anyone who didn't know, Eli was he was the main reader for all of Yah Scriptures. Nicole was on one set of books, I was on another set of books, and Eli was the reader. And so between Nicole and I, as he would read them word for word, tittle for tittle, that's what we did for days, months, years. It took a very, very long time. Okay, so here we are into the book of Numbers, and let's roll. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of appointment on the first day of the second month in the second year after they had come out of the land of Mitzrayim, saying, take a census of all the congregation of the children of Yisrael by their clans, by their fathers' houses, according to the number of names, every male, head by head, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army in Yisrael. Number them by their divisions, you and Aaron. And a man from every tribe should be with you, each one the head of his father's house. And these are the names of the men who stand with you, from Reuben, Eliezer, son of Shediur. Okay, now I'm going to have Eli take it over from here. All right, hit it up, Eli.
From Shimon, Shelumiel, son of Surishadai. From Yehuda, Nachshon, son of Amminadab. From Issachar, Nathanael, son of Suar. From Zebulun, Eliab, son of Kelon. From the sons of Joseph, from Ephraim, Elishama, son of Ammihud. From Manasseh, Gamliel, son of Pedasur. From Benjamin, Avidan, son of Gedoni. From Dan, Achiezer, son of Amishai. From Asher, Pagiel, son of Okran. From Gad, Eliasaph, son of Duel. From Naphtali, Akira, son of Anan.
Hit it.
Oh,
That's it.
that's one name.
Round
Okay.
16.
16. All right, here we are. So rolling in. That was my little homeboy. Now, when he actually read these, read 15 as you had read with Yah Scriptures. Read that. Quotes. Capital from.
Quotes, capital from, capital Naphtali, colon, capital Akira with a funky H, comma, son of capital Anan with a funky, period, quotes.
That's what we heard for about a year and a half, guys. Reading this to get Yah Scriptures where it is.
I brought so many memories back.
Yeah, it definitely brought some memories back. And I will tell you a sin here that we ended up with because as we were doing the Yah Scriptures, we ended up drinking coffee. We were doing so many hours for so many days that it started with, and for anyone who doesn't know, that's been around, the Grand knows that I used to be a coffee junkie, like complete coffee junkie. And when I started doing research about coffee, it started talking about how when you, like 1 cup of coffee that you have 50% less blood flow in your head. So I'm like, whoa, that doesn't sound right. So then I start researching the rest of it, and coffee can actually be used as a pesticide. It's also a poison, and there's also a lot of things for it. So I went out and I told you guys that coffee's not good for us. It's not good for anybody. And I'm like, look, guys, we should not be drinking it. The people of Yah should not be drinking it. And as we did,
It was almost a year off of
it was almost a year off of coffee before we did so many hours of the Yah Scriptures. It started 1 cup, and then it went to 2, and then it went to 3, and I was hooked. And so it has been 6 days off of the coffee again. And I did it a lot different than I did, and I'm still going to tell the people of our Creator that we should not be drinking coffee, that it is not something that is good for us. And so that's some of the stuff that happened behind the scenes from Yah Scriptures. So, guys, as much if you guys don't think it is a very addictive drug, I would just suggest try stopping it for 1 day and see what happens to you. It is something that affects our nervous system, it affects our minds, it affects our sleep, it affects all sorts of stuff. And I feel really, really good. The first time I stopped drinking coffee, I just did it cold turkey. I ended up with a sledgehammer headache for about 10 days. This time, I just weaned myself off and killed it, and I am happy as a clam to report back that I am no longer under that drug. So guys, for anybody that's out there drinking coffee, it's dangerous. Now, let's roll. 16. These are the ones called from the congregation, leaders of their fathers' tribes, heads of the thousands of Yisrael. And Moshe and Aaron took these men who were called by name, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the 2nd month. And they declared their ancestry by clans, by their fathers' houses, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, each one head by head. And Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so he registered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the children of Reuben, Yisrael's firstborn, their genealogies by their clans, their father's house, according to the number of names, every male head by head, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Reuben were 46,500. From the children of Shimon, their genealogies by their clan, by their father's house, of those who were registered according to the number of names, every male head by head, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Shimon were 59,300. From the children of Gad, their genealogies by clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Gad were 45,650. Now, what's happening here, fellas? What are we doing here with this?
We are numbering the army here. We are figuring out consensus here.
Right, and so this is the first time that Yisrael has had a large-scale organized army. And so when you're looking at the creator of the universe, how does he go to battle? This is how he goes to battle. And so what's happening right here is everybody's getting separated. The people that are able to fight, they're all going to the war. They're all getting ready to go, and they're getting ready to bust a move. So let's continuing on. And Rick, yeah, he said he's just about to have a cup. Yeah, bro, it's one of those things. It's rough, you know.
Curtis says, "Oh no, coffee. Ugh. Pray for me."
Yeah, guys, it's not something. It's not easy at all. But I will tell you, I feel the first couple of days off, I felt really spunky. I feel really spunky, and I feel way spunkier now than when I was downing 5-6 cups of coffee a day just to get through the day. So it definitely it may pep you up a little bit. And one thing for sure was when I was moderating it a little bit and I had it down all the way, if I would drink like one full cup, I would sit there and I'd break out into sweats. Like it absolutely changes the dynamic. It's low grade methamphetamines is what it is. And I will tell you that as a professional in the drug world that I used to be. It is a low grade amphetamine. Okay, continuing on. Oh, she's been off, or walking his way. He's been off. He's been off for 4 months now. Yah gave me a dream about it, and I had to obey. Now I drink black tea, and that does the job. Yeah, that's what Mr. Cole went to as well.
2 months ago.
2 months ago, she went to black tea because she was on it. She actually quit before I did because we knew we weren't on the right path getting into this stuff, and so it increases your pep is all I can say. Okay, now continuing on. Did we do 24, fellas?
You're on Yehuda now.
Okay, 26. From the children of Yehuda, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Yehuda were 74,600. From the 40,600, yeah. From the children of Issachar, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Issachar were 54,400. From the children of Zebulun, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Zebulun were 57,400. From the sons of Joseph, the children of Ephraim, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Ephraim were 40,500. From the children of Manasseh, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Manasseh were 32,200. All right, who's the biggest tribe so far, fellas?
Yehuda.
Yehuda, and they're always big. They've always been big as far as their groups go. Continuing on, did I do Benjamin? I did Benjamin, right?
No, you're
No, you're
Oh, okay.
36.
Okay, from the children of Benjamin, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Benjamin were 35,400. From the children of Dan, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who registered of the tribe of Dan were 62,700. So what was the smallest, guys? Look back in there, see who the smallest is, and we have the two top ones right there.
It might. No, I think it's Manasseh.
All right, yeah, Yahushua HaMashiach, yeah, is my savior. We will definitely pray. Anybody that wants prayers, let us know. We will definitely put you guys on the prayer list, and it's easier to stop than it sounds. But after doing it 2 different times, after being a very, very heavy use, it's all about dropping down. Like if you guys had 5 cups, go with 4 cups the next week, 3 cups, 2 cups, down to where you have a cup and then half a cup, and there's 0 side effects. And I was watching this guy on YouTube. His name is Sober Dogs. He was a guy that was addicted to absolutely everything, and now he's not. He's out there preaching to people to try to stay off these drugs. He said the number 2 hardest drug that he ever detoxed from was caffeine. And he said nicotine was 3. Nicotine was 3 and some other stuff. And number 1 was antidepressants. He said, and he was hooked on to absolutely everything. So as far as being able to get off coffee, it is possible, guys. Just moderate it down, and your life will feel much better. I assure you. Okay, 40.
Smallest tribe
Smallest tribe?
was Manasseh.
Manasseh.
2,200.
32.
But if you merge the two tribes, Joseph
Yeah, Manasseh.
together,
Yeah,
it's
Ephraim.
Benjamin.
Yeah, Benjamin with 35,400.
Okay, so yeah, those guys were the small ones, and then you had the big guys like Dan and Yehuda. They were absolutely
Well, that makes
huge.
sense. They're the people that are always going out to war. They're the people sent to war.
Genie out of this world. It's like getting off of bread.
I was gonna say sugar.
Yeah, sugar. Yeah, and this Mystical used to be a sugar fiend as well. Okay, all right, here we are. Man, this has been if we were Catholics, this would be confessional here today. Okay, 40. From the children of Asher, their genealogies by their clans, by their names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Of the tribe of Asher were 41,500. From the children of Naphtali, their genealogies by their clans, by their father's house, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and above, everyone going out to the army. Those who were registered of the tribe of Naphtali were 53,400. These were those registered whom Moshe and Aaron registered with the leaders of Yisrael, 12 men, each one for his father's house. Now, what do you guys think that this looked like? All of a sudden, because this is a draft. What this is this is the first draft that we have ever heard of. This is the first draft of Yah that he pulled everybody out there to roll on.
What was the people going out of the army? I think you had a choice not to go, right? If you had something going on at home.
Well, you didn't have a no. If you were just married, right, and you
Right.
had to spend 1 year with your wife. What were the guys? Give me some
If
more.
you just plant a vineyard,
Right, if you just plant a vineyard.
there's one more.
If
I
there's
think you just built a house.
Yeah, you would live in it for like 1 year, right, or
Yeah,
something.
you-
There were a couple different things that you wouldn't go. Excuse me. One is if you just got married. So there were a couple things out of it, but it wasn't just like, hey, I don't want to go. So, all right, rolling on. 47. But the Lewites were not registered among them by their father's tribe, because Yahuwah had spoken to Moshe, saying, only the tribe of Lewi you do not register, nor take a census of them among the children of Yisrael. Instead, appoint the Lewites over the Mishkan of the witness, over all its furnishings, and over all that belongs to it. They bear the Mishkan and all its furnishings, and they attend to it and camp around the Mishkan. All right, would you guys rather go to war, or would you rather take care of the temple?
I don't know. Taking care of the temple is really like a really scary thing, right? If you mess up, it's like you're like ruining the house of Yah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to mess up. You would want to definitely not do that. You wouldn't want to offer strange fire up there. All right, so Eli, war, would you want to go to war?
Probably
Or
war because they're extremely clumsy.
you're extremely clumsy?
Yeah, I don't know. Then you might fall over and die.
Well, I mean,
Better than like destroying the house.
there's a lot of jobs. There's the cleanup guys. I mean, there's people that clean the blood off the altars. There's people that clean the floors. It's not just people killing animals. It's an entire system of stuff that has to go on. Somebody has to wash the clothes of these people, right? There's blood all over
Eli's
these
afraid
things.
of knocking something over that shouldn't be knocked over.
Knocking over some. All right, Jade, where are you going? War?
War.
You're going to war?
Going to war,
Cade,
yeah.
you going to war?
Probably.
Everybody here warrior. Huh?
Imagine like Trip goes through a veil and touch the Ark of the Covenant.
Dude, I get hooked on something and pull the whole I pull the candle off or something and it would be over. Yeah.
I fall too much.
Yeah, and like if we go to war, we'll be as long as we're in covenant, we won't lose, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
it
making
says-
so. Yeah, there's stuff like that. Yeah, making so. Somebody had to do all the little stuff that it took to support all of the rest of the stuff.
Stella
So
says she'd go to war.
go to war. All
She
right.
likes the challenge. She has lots of energy. The
Nice.
Grand says bake. I'll be with the Grand. We'll bake.
Bake, but which was that for the warriors? Is that for the temple?
Yeah, but the
That's
women
the
didn't have to
temple.
go to war.
Yeah, the women don't have to go to war. No, we're just saying. But okay, all right, let's roll on. So where are we at? 50?
I think 52.
52.
51 and 52.
And when the Mishkan is to go forward, the Lewites take it down. And when the Mishkan is to be put up, the Lewites put it up. And the stranger who comes near is put to death. And the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, everyone by his own camp, everyone by his own banner, according to their divisions. But let the Lewites camp around the Mishkan of the witness, so that there be no wrath on the congregation of the children of Yisrael. Let me see here. It just popped up. Hold on, guys. I can't see. Chat. Hold on. Is something ready for me, Kate?
What?
I can't read. Okay, there it is. Children of Yisrael and the Lewites shall guard the duty of the Mishkan of the witness. Can I see this, please? Okay. Final verse. And the children of Yisrael did according to all that Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so they did. The very first chapter of Numbers, and we are heading back into the very last chapter of Matthew. And so, yeah,
Before-
Deborah went too.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say before that one.
yeah, Deborah went. She went. She was a woman of war. Who was also who's that lady that chopped that dude's head off? That was
Judith.
Judith. Yeah, that's in the Apocrypha. So, excuse me. There have been definitely some women that have been used in the hand of Yah, that the men have failed miserably, and it took one woman with her with some courage and a little bit of Yah's protection, and there have been a lot of these women that, at least a couple of them that have done some amazing things. All right, so here we are. Yell nailed the guy. Who was that? Was it Yell? I thought it was.
Yahudith.
Yeah, Yehudith, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Well, then Deborah put the nail in the dude's head.
Deborah put the nail in the dude's head. Judith
Cut the dude's
chopped.
head off, two slices.
She sliced the dude's head off, and carried the head out with her, right?
Yeah, and it was 2 swings. She couldn't
Yeah.
get it through the first time.
Rick, good job, bro.
Bless for
let-
peacemakers.
absolutely. We need some peacemakers here. All right, here we are, guys. Netanyahu 28. Jade, give me a breakdown. Where are we at? The last chapter of Matthew.
So we have the life of Messiah. He went around teaching and preaching, helping people, healing, doing miracles that have never been seen before by these people. And he made some enemies along the way. Some people hated him because of what he did, and so they planned and plotted against him while he was teaching. And they questioned him. They tried to trick him, and they just couldn't ever figure out a way. So they had to figure out violence was the only option because they weren't smart enough to beat him, and try to, because they were losing popularity, they were losing their money. He was taking them away from traditions and teaching them the law rightfully as it was supposed to be taught. And so during the Feast of Passover, he went out to pray in the garden, and Judas, whoever knows Judas, betrayed him and sold him over. Now he has been beat. He has been questioned by Pilate.
He's been beaten multiple times.
Yeah, beat multiple times, and then his disciples have all abandoned him at this point.
Yeah, he has had a very, very bad moments. Messiah's last moments around were very, very bad, very tough. Okay, here we are. Now on the Shabbat, toward
After.
dawn. Now after the Shabbat, toward dawn on one of the Shabbototh, Miriam came from Magdala, and the other Miriam came to see the tomb.
I just want to take a quick note that even after Yeshua died, the Shabbat was still kept.
Yes, the Shabbat was still kept, and a lot of people get stuck up here on this particular verse that talks about 2 different Shabbats here, because this is a high Shabbat, right? We're dealing with 2 different Shabbats. We're not just dealing with a regular Shabbat, but we're dealing with a high Shabbat. So guys, we're falling into appointed time season, and Messiah died exactly as the Passover lamb would have died. And so we have these high Shabbats that we have during our appointed times, and this was where Messiah was.
That would have been unleavened bread.
The unleavened bread? Okay. All right, 2. And see, there was a great earthquake, for a messenger of Yahuwah came down out of the Shamaim, and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it. And his appearance was like lightning, and his garments as white as snow. And the guards trembled for fear of him and became like dead men. And the messenger responding said to the woman, "Women, do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Yahushua, who was impaled." Okay, so I think these guards are probably still there, or do you think they took off running? They said they were sitting there, they became like dead.
I assume they passed out or something.
Well,
They did.
or you get really, really scared, or in a flight, fight situation, you will sit there and you will just not move, right? Don't move. Let's look, right? And all of a sudden, these guys see some probably beat dudes coming out of the Shamaim, and they're all glowing lights, and they don't know what to think. But at least the messenger helped the way. Don't be afraid. 6. He is not here, for he was raised, as he said. Come, see the place where the Adon lay, and go quickly. Say to his Talmidim that he was raised from the dead, and see, he is going before you to Galilee. There you shall see him. See, I have told you. And they left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy, and ran to report to his Talmidim, to his disciples. And as they were going to report to his Talmidim, see, Yahushua met them, saying, "Greetings." And they came and held him by the feet and bowed to him. Then Yahushua said to them, "Do not be afraid. Go, report to my brothers to go to Galilee, and they shall see me there." And while they were going, see, some of the sentries, having gone into the city, reported to the chief Kohanim all that took place. And when they came together with the elders and taken counsel, they gave enough silver to the soldiers, saying, "Say that his Talmidim came at night and stole him away while we slept. And if this should be reported to the governor, we shall win him over and keep you out of trouble." And having taken the silver, they did as they were instructed. And this account was widely spread among the Yahudim to this day. And you talk to the Jews of today, and they will tell you the same story. They will tell you how fake it is and all this other stuff. They have passed all of these wicked stories of how it didn't happen, how somebody just stole the body, and that is their claim to fame to this day. So there's that. 16. And the 11 Talmudim went away into Galilee, to the mountain which Yahushua had appointed for them. And when they saw him, they bowed to him, but some doubted. And Yahushua came up and spoke to them, saying, all authority has been given to me in the Shamayim and on earth. Therefore go and instruct all the nations, immersing them in the name of the Father, and of the Ben, and of the Ruach HaKodesh, teaching them to guard all that I have commanded you. And see, I am with you always until the end of the age. Amen. Now, let's talk about this real quick, because this is one of these little Trinity, one of these Trinity things, right? Everybody's, basically, when they will baptize you in the Christian religion, they are baptizing you in a Trinity name, in the name of God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which they all think of as one. And for anyone who's read scriptures, that is not the case. The Messiah Yahushua, Jesus Christ, has clearly said he is not the Father. We read a command in Deuteronomy 6:4 this morning that said Elohim, Yahuwah, is one. So we cannot have a creator that's lying. We can't have the son of the creator who's lying. There's no deception inside of scriptures. That's why we take scriptures for what we see in scriptures, and you don't have to make up things. You don't have to come to some conclusion. You don't have to say all food has been made clean, because that doesn't exist in scriptures. It is not there. It's not. That is something the devil has put in scriptures, and you have billions of people that have gone to the other side of Sheol, that are on the bad side, that are still thinking that all food was made clean and wondering why they did not make the kingdom. So guys, the path of the kingdom is about obedience. It will always be about obedience. It'll be about the people who have chosen the right path of our Creator and are willing to align our lives and the way that we live to the Creator of the universe. And it's a beautiful path. It is not bondage. Again, those who say it's bondage are taken over with unclean spirits. They're ignorant. They don't know. They're fools. And those who say that all the good instructions just don't apply to us anymore, those are people that will be told to depart from our Messiah. And so, guys, as we look to the future, as we look to tomorrow, as we look to the kingdom to come, it's in scriptures. And don't take it from just a guy like me sitting here reading on a Shabbat to you. The scriptures are for us to read. I tell everybody, read from the very first page. Read it as a love letter from our Creator to you. Read it as our instructional guide for life. Read it as the greatest set of instructions we will ever be told, and we have it right before our hands. And if we apply it to our lives, then we will have the blessings that our Creator has said we will have. But if we don't apply it to our lives, it will say very, very clearly that we won't. All right, so let's look at John. What are we looking at? John 18.
John 21.
John 21. Let's go.
18, 19.
Yep, 2, 4. John, what is it? 18 what?
John 21, 18.
21, 18. All right, let's get to it. What do we got? 18. What is it? 21, 18?
21, 18, 19.
Oh, I just done it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so let's read this. 18, 19. 21, 18. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked when you wanted. But when you are old, you shall stretch out your hand, and another shall gird you and bring you where you do not want. Now this, he said, signifying by what death he would esteem Elohim. And having said this, he said to him, follow me. All right, anyone want to take a stab at this? All right, so let's look at this in context real quick. This is interesting because this comes right off of 21:17, and this is where Shimon Peter is he's upset. Let's read 17 first. He said to him the third time, Shimon of Yonah, do you love me? And Peter was sad because he said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Adonai, you know all. You know that I love you. Yahushua said, feed my sheep. Then it comes into this, truly, truly, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked. That part is self-explanatory. Obviously, when we get old. 19, though, now he said, signifying by what death he would esteem Elohim. And having said this, he said to him, follow me. I'm going to have to take a stab at this, and this is Messiah. One of the things Messiah didn't want to do is he did not want to end up getting owned like he did. And you can tell when he was praying to the Father that he did not want to go where he was being led. He did not want to do where he was going, but he did what his father did and what his father said. And having said this, he said to him, "Follow me." And that's, I think, the same thing. What he's trying to tell us is that sometimes we are led where we didn't know that we needed to go to get to the place that is found. And once we find that place, then we know to follow our Creator and his Messiah in all of that. Now, I'll probably have to study a little bit more to figure this out a little bit more, as probably not a great explanation on this one.
So what's the question on this verse?
The question is,
Just wants to
explain
know,
it.
Can you explain it?
What do you get from this? Anyone?
So Yehoshua is saying here that his death would esteem Yehoshua. So he's telling Peter to follow in his path, and so he can esteem Elohim. So his death will basically be a gift to Elohim.
And that absolutely was a gift to Elohim.
Yeah, as he gets older, right, he's going to be taken away. He's going to be persecuted. He's going to go where he doesn't want to go. He's going to follow in the same way Yahushua was killed, right? In the same way that he was persecuted, Peter's going to die that same way.
Yeah, I think that's something like that. This is probably a good thing. Does Rick come up with something? Let's start the peacemakers. Yep. Okay. Okay, well, I don't know if that helps you out on this. I will definitely study up on that a little bit more. I'm sure there's probably a far better meaning on that than what we can explain right here on this, but I don't have it. But we were going to end this, and we're going to give you guys all a bunch of love. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yehovah broke you and guard you, who made his face shine upon you, and shall favor you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace. Thus I shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I myself shall barak them.
Okay. All right, guys, we love you.
Sylvia says a sacrifice and offering to Elohim.
The sacrifice and offering, which it was Messiah's offering, right? So, I mean, at one point, I mean, if you look at that verse, what Messiah became is what our example is, and we should absolutely throw ourselves down for the kingdom, for whenever it is. We should gladly trade this flesh for the next realm and be that guy. So hopefully that helps. Much love to y'all. everybody. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the Torah be a part of your life. May Messiah Yahushua always be your Savior. And may we all high five each other in the kingdom to come. Much love to you all. We love you all. Shabbat shalom.